Now that was heavier than normal.
You will see me on stage a lot next year. Fucking knew it. We're back. Push plus Q&A. So last week I filmed my other push session. This week we're on push B, right? So it's one more delt focus session. Figured I'd just film this, so then you've seen both push sessions back to back and you know how my top line is growing, because it needs to grow. Got a Q&A, just done my first set of pec fly there. So I've got a pec fly, then into a flat press, and that's all the chest work for today. Currently just working with a mate because he was on there already. I didn't fancy waiting, so that's why I haven't spoke before the first set. Things are going well in the off season. I'll put on screen now my check-in from this morning. It is a video, so it's about 30 seconds long for me to keep talking whilst it's on the screen. 243 pounds upon wake. Food has gone up again. Food's now like 5, 6 on a high day, 5 something on a training day, like a regular training day, and then just under 5 now on a rest day. So it has increased a fair bit, but we're looking good, right? I'm very happy with condition. There's been a lot of density added, a lot of muscle in the right areas, my back, my little quads, arms. I still need more across this top line here, which is obviously why this session is so important. All sessions are so important, but this one especially at the minute. So that is where we're up to. I've got honestly about 30 questions that I'm going to go through today in between sets across the video. So I'm going to get these 2 more sets of my pec fly done, and then we will get into the first press and some questions. Right then, onto the press. I'm using the Nitrum. It's a beautiful piece, converges a lot, so you get like a lot of chest, which is great. And it's got 3 loading points, so you can adjust the resistance profile, so it's very, very good. I'm a big fan. What's been going on? So yeah, off-season's going well, as I said. Very happy with the look. Checked in with Kyle this morning and put my confirmed show dates. There's a lot of the shows I will be doing have been announced, their dates. So we're going to finalise those probably today. And then that's going to lock in the timeline for exactly when prep's going to start and that sort of stuff. So it's getting very real very quick. All right, it's going to be not long till prep. Honestly, I think we'll be starting prep in 6 to 8 weeks if I was realistic. So that's going to come around very, very quick. Because when you see this video, it's already been a further week, basically. So prep's coming soon. I'm very excited for the shows. We've got European shows, we've got American shows, we've got the whole fucking lot, right? So you will see me on stage a lot next year, is the plan. I want to do at least 4 shows, potentially more, right? Not including the Olympia, because we will be at the Olympia. I'm going with a different mindset this year, right? It's fucking get better and kill everybody. That's my new mindset. With respect, obviously. What's next? Everything I just said there. Get better and kill everybody. There you go. That's what's next. No. What is actually next for me is I move house in probably 2 weeks' time. We should be exchanging contracts this week, completing the week after, and then moving the week after that, most likely, is my plan. So it's going to be a busy few weeks, but come December, I should be settled in the new house. We've got a lot of plans for the new house. I may do a video or 2 around it. Going to be doing a little bit in the garden, building like a nice little posing room and stuff like that. So I will likely film some of the renovations going on there, which is exciting. I do genuinely have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50, 25 questions. So I will try to fly through some of these. Matthias, well, do pros have shitty workouts sometimes, or is it always perfect? We fucking have shitty workouts, mate. I am the same person I was when I was 16 and not a pro. Funnily enough, you turn pro, nothing changes. My mindset was the same before I turned pro. If anything, it was, I don't want to say more enjoyable before I was a pro, but I was doing it purely because I loved it. There was no pressure attached to it. Now at this level, there's pressures from sponsors, there's pressures from you guys, not in terms of, if I don't do well, you'll all hate me. That might be some of you. Fuck you if that's you. But just more so, I don't want to let people down. People follow my journey. I want to do well for that, So there's a lot of pressure attached to it. When I was 16, I'd post a photo, I wouldn't really care about it. Now, before I post a photo, sometimes I'm thinking, oh, do I look good here? Is it going to get posted on a bodybuilding page? Am I going to get shit for it? And I'd say, to be fair, of all the pros I know, I'm one of the people who cares least about that. You know, I will post majority. You know, the start of this video was my flat, fasted check-in peak off-season in front of a ring light. I do not know any other pro that posts that shit, I'll be honest. Or none comes to mind that peak off-season will post their fucking check-in flat in the morning in front of a ring light. I'm sure there are some, but none that I follow really, unless they're in prep, will post that. So yeah, there's a different pressure, but like in terms of workouts, yeah, I have shit once, absolutely. You know, it happens, especially when traveling. You know, sometimes I come in here, my head's not in it. I've got a lot of external stress going on at home. There's been parts of the house move where I've been like, fuck me, is this even gonna happen? I've been getting phoned 2-3 times in a session by estate agents, by solicitors and all this shit. And it just is a shit workout. So yeah, it definitely happens. Felt very good, to be fair. I'm gonna do that weight again for a second set and then drop it slightly for a third set. Yesterday was pretty cool. Was down at Gymshark filming a few bits and had the pleasure of meeting Samson for the first time and did a bit of posing with him, which, as this video comes out, will have been posted to Instagram. Maybe, might not have been yet, I don't know. I'll put it in this video as a spoiler anyway, so you can watch that footage now. Didn't hit a lot, but like you can see some. So that was sick. Reason that was for was actually, I can say it now, it's for Black Friday with Gymshark. So big advert coming, right? It goes live on the 16th of November at 4 PM UK time. So be fucking ready for that because this shit's gonna sell out quick, right? You've got, I think it was up to 50% off the entire website plus 10% with code Eagles. So basically up to 60% off, like, everything at Gymshark, which is ridiculous. It's the biggest sale of the year. Your best opportunity to stock up on the best clobber for the cheapest. You can see what I'm wearing now. I've got the new Power Collection, right? With the print across the back, the oversized fit. My fucking favourite shorts that you see me wear constantly, which are the 7-inch sport shorts. I know they're 30% off. I think the Power Collection is also 30% off. So go and stock up basically. Code Eagles. If you do order anything, please do DM me a screenshot of your order with my code, so that I can say thank you. I'll also run some sort of giveaway. Not what's out yet, but I will be running a giveaway for all you lot who use my code across Black Friday. So keep your eyes peeled. We've got another set to do because we're trying to get big. Bosh, right. I'm gonna do a third set, I'm gonna drop it slightly. Not gonna film it, because you don't need to see 3 sets for chest press. Next up, we've got a lion cuff lateral raise. In my opinion, the very best delt exercise you can do. Certainly my favorite anyway. So I'll talk you through how I set that up and see you over there. Cuff Y raises. First thing you need, pair of cuffs, right? Hard body, Code Eagles, comfiest, best cuffs in the game, in my opinion. I prefer to do it on the floor. Now you've seen me probably before do it on the bench loads. You can do it on the bench if you're too good to lie on the floor. I tend to find lying on the floor is better because it forces you to keep your core tight and sort of round your back there, right? So you're like this, and it forces you then to pull through your delts. What you'll see is a lot of people will go on a bench and they'll arch their back like this, so the massive arch, and they'll pull like that, and they'll be way fucking stronger, right? And you will be, but that's because you're pulling through your traps. So if you're doing this movement and you feel your traps a lot, you're doing it wrong. Brace your core, round it tight, and then just drag out through the side delt, medial head, right? And it's gonna feel lovely. On this as well, I will do an intensify here. So we've done 2 chest exercises. The reason I do my chest exercises first is purely because I'm quite delt dominant, meaning that if I train delts first and get a bit of blood in my delts and then try and train chest, I just can't engage my chest. My delts just take over. So if I do all my chest work first, then move into my delts, my chest gets worked and my delts get worked, and I just find it works better for me personally. That's not to say you need to do that, that's just what works for me. If you're chest dominant and struggle to connect with your delts, maybe do the opposite. With this being first delt exercise, I will take 2, 3, 4 warm-ups of like quite high reps, so sort of 15-ish reps. and just fly through it. So I'll also, when I start doing my working sets here, tend to work with a 2-second negative on the eccentric and just really feel those delts pulling apart. Oh, fucking hell. Right, good to go, but I'm gonna do a few questions first. I'm gonna squat down, athletic. What camera and lens do you lose from Luke Lloyd? Shout out Luke, my client. Camera at the minute I'm filming on is a Sony FX2, so the new Cinema Line one that came out. It's got the same sensor as an A7 IV, which is like a really good photography camera. I think it's the same, similar. There's an FX3, so it's got like, it's really good for recording, which is what an FX3 is, but it's also really good for thumbnails, which is what I needed this camera for. So it does both. Used to film on a ZV-10, which is good, great beginner camera, works everything. If I'm vlogging a food video, it's probably on an Osmo Pocket 3. If it's a vlog out in the streets and walking around loads, it'll be an Osmo Action 5. Last set, let's get it. What I'm gonna do is probably 25 again, so same weight still, but we're gonna do a rest pause. So I'm gonna go till failure initially, then I'm gonna wait like 10 seconds, go to failure again, wait 10 seconds, go to failure again. Do that 2 or 3 times, try and get like maybe 10 reps first set, and then double that to try and get to 20 reps total. After I've done all that, I'll then just do partials for as many as I can. It's gonna hurt. Oh, fucking hell. Ow. Felt lovely. Really fucking nice. Oh. Right then, more questions. Let's get it. Gaz G. Jones, what a name. What's your greatest achievement so far from sponsors life? What deep question. In fairness, I do not reflect much. Probably, maybe a downfall of mine. However, I'm still very young, right? I think everything I've achieved I'm very proud of, but when I achieve something, I don't sit there and think, fucking hell, I achieved everything I wanted, right? I've not, for clarification, but like I'll achieve something, say turning pro, right? I turned pro. Sure, for a day or two, I was very happy. But once, like, to be honest, the minute I'd walked off stage, straight away my mindset switched and it was straight to, right, I'm a shit pro, I need to become a good pro. And to be honest, that's still the mindset I'm in, 2 years later. So I'm always looking at the next thing. Once I become a good pro and qualify for Olympia, I don't think I'll sit there and be like, oh yay, I've finally qualified for Olympia. I think I'm gonna think, right, fucking hell, I wanna get to finals at the Olympia. You know, I wanna be top 10. And that's the way I've always been. Even as a kid growing up, achieving, you know, something in like when I used to play football at a decent level. It was always like, what's next? And I think that's who I am as a person, and I think that's honestly one of the reasons why I've been successful. Because I've never got complacent, I've never got comfortable, I never sat back and thought, yeah, sick. And like, I think it is important to sit back and think, yeah, fucking hell, credit to yourself, like, you deserve those moments. I don't think it's ever something I've really particularly done. Which I probably should. I'm getting nervous now, you can see me bounce my leg, right? We're getting a bit deep here mid-session. Pretty much most days I wake up and I'm like, I'm excited to get out of bed, I'm excited to go get on with my day. I'm excited to do check-ins, see how the clients are getting on, see how the boys are doing, and girls. I'm excited to go and train. In fairness, I'm not always excited to have to edit or have to do a tax return or have to do, you know, some of the more mundane shit. I'm not always excited to wake up and eat 6,000 calories, right? I do have those days, but they are very few and far between, and that is something I'm very, very grateful for. And I do not think a life where you don't feel those days exists, in fairness. I think I'm pretty close to enjoying my career as much as I could, which is probably my biggest achievement. I think being able to wake up and feel that is rare. Like, yeah, okay, I think getting the sponsors I've got, like ESN and Gymshark, it doesn't get better than that. They are if I was a 16-year-old, I didn't really know ESN at the time, to be fair, but I did as they grew. But put me at 16, what's your dream sponsors? It would have been Gymshark. And as supplement companies go right now, there's nobody better than ESN. Unbiased, that is, by the way, like, there genuinely isn't. So that is incredible. That's all sick. I've got a beautiful girlfriend. At times, she does fucking fart a lot, but she'll be fuming when she watches this video back, but I'm not telling her. No, but it's great. I'm very happy with my life. But I'm still not at the Olympia, so that's all I think about every night, falling asleep, staring at the ceiling. Why am I shit, bro? Fuck, I need to get better. So we're going to get better eventually. Fucking hell, that was a bit much for halfway through a push session. Right, work shoulder press on a Smith machine now. My shoulders are absolutely toasted after that set, but my internal demons are fucking top tier right now after realising I've still not achieved what I want to in life. Thanks to whoever asked that question. Theans the Bull. How do you deal with gut issues in the off season, like diarrhea? Assume you have. I don't know if I'm offended by that. Do I just look like the sort of person that just shat himself like all off season? Funnily enough, I don't think I've ever had diarrhea in the off season. Like, I rarely ever get food poisoning. I mean, I'm sure I have in the 6 years I've been doing bodybuilding, but not that I can recollect. Gut issues for me typically would more so be constipation or just lack of appetite or bloating. How to deal with them? Obviously, it's going to be address your diet for one. Make sure you're not cooking like an idiot, right? Cook your fucking food properly. People that get food poisoning from chicken being undercooked when they cook and eat chicken 4 times a day baffles me, right? Look at the food you're eating, look at the vegetables you're eating. Seasonings. If you haven't too much caffeine, make sure you're drinking adequate water. It's very hard because each person's digestion is going to be so individual to them. But look at your diet, sort that all out, space out your meals better, get your steps in. And if you're getting horrendous diarrhea, then there is likely an issue with like leaky gut or something like that you need to address. So yeah, hopefully that helps. And no, I don't just relentlessly shit myself all off season. Oh, I just realised that entire time I was answering the question, there was like a female in the gym sat like a metre away from me. I don't know. And I've just been sat there speaking to a camera, talking about shitting myself all off season. Fucking hell. Welcome to bodybuilding. Two and a half, 2:15 maybe. We're 2:15. We're going to send it a little bit today, so hell yeah. I'm doing 2 sets of shoulder press. I do need to hurry up a little bit. I've just spent so long talking. Em's now sat in the car wanting to go home and eat, and I am going slightly hypo because I've been training for so long. So we'll do this set, get a back off set done, and then get on to the supersets. Fucking hell, that was heavier than normal. Bench was slightly too far back for my liking. Right, let's box off another quick question. I'm going to get my back off set done. How many working sets per workout would you suggest as a rough guide? Does not fucking matter. I couldn't tell you how many I do. Well, I could actually for last session, it was 20, but that's higher than normal. I don't think it really matters, right? You can grow off very high volume. You can grow off very low volume. It depends what your physique needs. Do not worry about the number of working sets. Just worry about the quality of your sets. If you can, I know you can't, right? You physically cannot do 40 working sets of quality sets. Vice versa, you can probably do more than 3 quality sets. So honestly, anywhere from fucking 10 to 25 is a rough guide. But there will be outliers to that. But roughly that's where I'd say per session, that's somewhere I'd be in there personally. That's where I like it. But it depends on the sets, right? Is it 10 sets of a bicep curl? Is it 10 sets of fucking hack squat? Big difference. So just talking in sets per session or sets per muscle group, What actually do those sets look like? We don't know. It's a much more in-depth conversation. So I hate that question. People, stop asking people how many sets do you need. Nobody fucking knows. If there was a set amount of sets that is absolutely best for muscle growth, every single fucking person in the gym would be doing it. Funnily enough, they don't. Therefore, there's no right answer. Train properly. See how many you can do. Dumbbell laterals, superset into a cable front raise. 3 sets. I'll film one and get on with it. We're just gonna answer some more questions in the meantime. We're gonna do some fucking quick fire. W whale. Cardio routine for prep. Whatever's fucking required. I've done preps where I've been doing 2 hours. I've done preps where I've been doing half an hour. It varies. Normally, I'll push it 30 to 45 every morning for a few weeks. And then as I get closer, it normally comes down because my legs will start to fade as I get really lean. But ultimately, it does not fucking matter. It is whatever I have to do. I suspect this coming prep, I will probably do more than before because I've got a different coach. It's a different approach. Kyle will use cardio as it's needed. I may also have to dig a little bit deeper to make weight. We don't know. So whatever's needed. Do I need a coach from Callum Treads? It's a good question. In the off season, I could probably get by without. And yeah, I probably could prep myself if I really had to. I just do not think it would lead to my best look. So I don't need a coach. I prefer a coach because I am self-deprecating. I'm very hard on myself, as you probably know from watching these videos. And therefore, if I was coaching myself, I would potentially push myself harder than I needed to. You know, on the cardio question, I'd probably do too much cardio and it would lead to a worse look. I'd maybe think I was too flat. I'd maybe think I was too full. I'd just make biased judgments because of my perception of myself. So that's why I like to just be an athlete and just listen to somebody else's opinion, because their opinion can be neutral. It can be purely objective. Whereas if I'm coaching myself, I'm going to be subjective. You can't not be. So credit to people who can coach themselves. I think majority of people would benefit from having a coach, but it depends on the coach. A lot of people can also be uncoachable. You know, we've seen it with athletes at the minute that constantly swap coach. And now, is it the fact that they've had a run of very shit coaches? Probably not, right? If it's the same person moving and moving and moving and moving, chances are they are the issue in those relationships. And that's not to say it's a bad thing, it's their fucking choice, right? It's their career, they can choose what they do. But those sorts of people may be better off coaching themselves rather than having these non-symbiotic relationships with coaches that perhaps don't lead to the best looks because there's conflicting opinions. Myself, I prefer to just offload all that stress and just listen to somebody else and follow it. And I know then if I look shit on stage, it's not my fault, it's their fault. So, another one from Callum Treads. Do you need elite level genetics to be a good bodybuilder? If I'm going purely by the question, no. What defines a great bodybuilder? Are you going placings or are you going being a bodybuilder, aka eating all your meals, training fucking hard, doing all the necessary? You can be a fantastic bodybuilder with shit genetics. Does that necessarily mean you're going to get good placings? No. Obviously, if you want to be at the very top of the sport, it is like any sport. I think people get a bit butthurt with bodybuilding, thinking, oh, it's not fair because it's based on shape and you have to have genetics to be there and it's so heavily biased by genetics. No matter how hard you fucking train watching this, you will never run as fast as Usain Bolt. Similarly, you probably won't ever look as good as Chris Bumstead, okay? You're probably not going to play in the NBA. Now, don't sit there crying. I'm probably not going to be any of those things either. I'm pretty quick, but we'll never know. No, like, every sport ever is so heavily biased by genetics, no matter what sport it is. Bodybuilding's no different. It's just those genetics are very clearly visible because it's so shape and muscle bellies and all this sort of shit. But yeah, to be at the top of the sport, like any sport, yes, you have to be a genetic phenomenon. To be a good bodybuilder, not necessarily. So, hopefully that answers. If you've got poor genetics, one, if you're asking that question, you're probably very young. Me at 17, when I was bodybuilding, competing in men's physique, would never have thought I could have the physique I had today. My shape is different. Now I've got a lot more muscle and I'm in a very different position. So, just because you're 17 and you're not fucking a 17-year-old IFBB pro phenomenon does not mean you can't get very far. Look at Nick Walker's first ever show. It was fucking tragic. If you showed me that person and said, oh, do you think this person will get third place at the Olympia? I would laugh, okay? And that probably goes for most pros. You do not know. Naz, One Punch Naz, 5th place Classic Olympia this year. 3 years ago, he had never won a pro show. He was competing as a pro and coming last. You never know what your potential is till you just fucking give it your all. So give it your all for 5 years, then ask the same question. 3 sets of that. I'm not going to film or talk in between because I tend to work through these at a pretty high pace. Regarding this session, because I've not actually spoken much on the session, we obviously did 2 chests to start with. Then I did a cuff Y raise, 3 sets plus a fucking brutal intensifier for a lot of medial head of my delt, side delt. Then I did an overhead press. Gonna hit a lot of front delt, anterior delt. Also, it's gonna hit a lot of my top line, so a lot of my upper chest and stuff like that, so that's great. Now we're going into another side lat raise, superset with a front raise. So again, hitting that whole sort of front 3/4 of the delt with a lot of volume, because I tend to find my delts respond very well to volume. If I go really heavy on delts, my rotator cuffs just fall apart and it really fucking hurts my joints. If I go a little bit lighter, push a lot of volume, still heavy, don't get me wrong, like 215 is not light. So still do the heavy work, but at a slightly faster pace, slightly higher volume, supersets, mad intensifiers, my delts just grow and I don't fuck up my joint massively. So personally, I enjoy that side a little bit more. Josh Hughes, 003, favourite part about being a coach? Numerous things. Obviously you've got the cliche sentimental answer, which is true. Like, it is genuinely very rewarding to help people not just get on stage, but just get in shape, better their lives. Like, bodybuilding changed my life drastically, changed who I am as a man and the way I deal with things in my life. And obviously with clients, you get very close to them, right? I've had a lot of clients go through a lot of pretty devastating shit, and to be there for them as a coach and also as a friend is like, it's more than just coaching. Same for me when I've gone through shit. Clients have just checked in on me, asked how I was, and it's, you know, there is the coach-client relationship element to it, but there is also, it's a fucking weird little family at the same time, and that means a lot and something I get a lot from. So there's obviously that side of things, like just help people better their lives, change their lives as who they are, not just better their physique, but their mindset, the way they deal with things, that sort of stuff. And then also, I'm a fucking nerd. I love the technical side of things. There is nothing like better than having a client you know does every single fucking thing you say to the absolute detail. When they check in and there's an issue, just that feeling in me of knowing if I manipulate this, they're going to execute it perfectly, and then I near enough 100% know that next week this will be the result. When that then happens, I'm like, fucking knew it. That's a great feeling, right? So the technicality side of things, learning and honestly just getting to put that into practice for people, you know, I always enjoy as well. Right, I'm going to do one more question here, then I'm going to finish off my session. Going to go home, eat my post-workout, and I'll do some more questions at home. Schnorris. If you didn't have this life, bodybuilding / BT / unemployed is what I am, what would you have done? Probably meth. You know, just crack on the fucking streets, be a smackhead. That's a joke, obviously. My original plan was to go to university and do economics and accounting, or accounting and finance, and then probably would have been financial advisor, something like that. I don't know, something boring, 9 to 5 with money. Eventually maybe scale that to financial advising firm, have people work under me so I don't actually have to work as much. That would have probably been the long-term career path, because I do believe at the same time, even though I'm very successful in this, well, I'm very successful, I'm getting there in this, I don't want to say it's a career, well, it is a career path. It's a weird career path, but it's a career path. I think that same competitiveness, drive, urge to not be a crippling failure, I would have carried that with me in whatever path I went down in life. So, yeah, whatever it would have been, it would have started at university in accounting and finance or something, and it probably would have then branched off, because I couldn't see myself working a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. I'd have probably worked it for quite a few years to get my footing, and then would have liked to try and scale that. CAC per 6'5", 6'7", 6. I don't know why I'm reading the numbers. Do you ever think you'll switch to open? I feel like I answer this every Q&A. Never going to say never, but it's certainly not
a goal of mine right now. Goal right now is be as successful as I can in Classic. If I get to a point where I'm a perennial 5th place every single Pro Show I do in Classic and I'm not getting any better, maybe then I'll think about switching, but right now there's so much room for improvement within Classic that that's where I want to stay. I don't really want to be 270 pounds lean. I don't think that would feel particularly nice. So for me, Classic is home and that's where I'd like to stay and be successful in, but if it ever gets to the point where I can't be successful in Classic for whatever reason, then maybe I'll switch, but right now, no. Favourite foods right now in the off-season? None. Fruit, I'm enjoying still. Fruit juice is just coming a little bit more, just to help get it down. Actual meals like rice pudding is still a personal favourite. Fish and rice, cereal. You know, I wouldn't say they're favourites, but they're what I'm eating. Fruit I like with meals just because it means I can have less rice and then a bit of diversity. So food fatigue, flavour fatigue, whatever you want to call it, isn't as real. That's a pretty nice thing right now. So I'm going through plenty of fruits, some mango, some apple, some banana, a whole lot, enjoying those, but all food's pretty stale at this point. I'm eating it for the purpose of getting wham, not because I want to eat it. Kevin H451, do you think you could have turned pro as a natural? I'm unsure what a natural is, mate. No, I'm joking. If you're talking turn pro in an untested pro qualifier as a natural, probably not. Well, maybe, but maybe not someone like fucking 30, okay? Obviously nowadays, which is fantastic, the IFBB have a whole line of natural regionals and natural pro qualifiers to then become a natural IFBB pro. And there's then natural IFBB pro shows and stuff like that. That wasn't a thing. That's obviously only become a thing really in the last year or two. So that was never a thing before. I thoroughly believe I could have turned pro in those, yes. Ultimately, my goals are bigger than that. I think you can be incredibly successful within natural bodybuilding, but for me, I want to be incredibly successful amongst the best bodybuilders on the planet, okay? And you're not going to achieve that naturally, was my thought. As a caveat to everybody watching this, that should not be motivational for you to all go and start getting a fucking delivery, hang on. It's a spiced orange Isoclear. Very festive. I don't know what spiced orange tastes like. Is it just orange laced with spice? Who knows? I'm sure that'll be very nice for Code Eagles when that drops. Don't know when it drops. This chair is horrific. What was I saying? Naturals, yeah, don't take that as motivation to be like, oh, I want to be the best in the world, I've got to take steroids. Like, if you're 16, no, you fucking don't, okay? I also competed naturally first to make sure, A, I could stick to a diet, 2, I enjoyed the sport, I enjoyed the process of prep, I was good enough on stage to know that there was the potential there to eventually make it to the top. Because if I stood on stage and I was absolutely shit and I hated it and I was miserable, I would then not have gone assisted after, right? That would have been stupid. So I think you should all compete naturally first. And if you're unsure the first time you do it, then do it again naturally, and make sure it's right for you before you just jump down the route of fucking taking steroids. People are like, oh, I want to compete, so I need to be assisted. Bullshit, do you? All right, do the smart thing first. Jay Linkage, will you be attending Arnold, Ohio? It's a good question. I would like to. I will try to. I will obviously be in prep at the time. It depends on which of my sponsors are there, if they're there. And what requirements I have there. I would love to go. It just depends if the opportunity is there to go. I think where I'm up to in prep, I should be able to go. If Kyle, my coach, is going to be there, I may just go out anyway, just spend some time with him and be at the expo and stuff. But answer is, I don't know. I will try to be there, but I can't promise anything. Kind of following on from the question before this, fave show you ever competed in? Good question. Won some car. Me personally competed in, most likely either Detroit was sick, or the Chi-Town Pro-In. I think sentimentally probably the Chi-Town Pro-In, which was in Alicante. It was an Emilio show. It was unbelievable. The whole production of it, the feeling of being the winner of the show as well, like I won the entire show, the overall everything. And then the following day I got to step on stage as a pro for the first time with Wesley and people like that. So that experience as a whole was just unbelievable. That season was sick as well. I did 2 shows, won the overall on both, clear winner, and I got my pro card. So, what American shows do you have planned coming up? From Nick Fling. It's a good question, mate. If only I could tell you. At least 2. Potentially more. And they're big ones, is all I'll say there. We're not doing a random show in a random state on a random weekend, right? We're going for the big ones. I'm not going to say which, but we're going for the big ones. Sam, same wing, 24. Did you always want to compete in Classic, or did you originally aim for Open? It's a good question. No, I did not always want to compete in Classic, and no, I did not originally aim for Open, right? I wanted to be a men's physique warrior when I started. I've, to this day, still done more shows in men's physique than I have in Classic physique. I've done, I think, 18 shows in total. I think probably 6 of those might be Classic, and the rest, the other 12, like all men's physique. As an amateur, when I was younger, I did a lot of men's physique shows. So some seasons I did like 5 in a season. And not just all in the UK, I did a few in the UK. I've done Denmark, Italy, America twice in men's physique. Like, I've done all over. I love men's physique. But wasn't good enough to turn pro in it. So Classic, because my physique grew, Classic, it was pretty clear I suited it more. So moved to Classic, and now when you look back, I do enjoy Classic a lot more. There's a lot more poses, it's a lot more marketable, should we say. It's a lot more popular, and I enjoy it a lot more. So yeah, never aimed for Open in my life yet. We'll see. Right then, that will conclude this probably rather long video. Hopefully a lot of value in it. I answered quite a few questions. It's been quite a while since I've done Q&A this in depth. The push session was mint as well. I have pull tomorrow and then legs. God help me. But things are moving. Hopefully new house soon, so I'll do some content with that. I want to film some more collabs. I do have a seminar this weekend with Wesley as well. Don't know if we're going to train and film. I feel like I've rinsed Wesley enough. I'll give him a day off from filming. But I want to film with some people. I know I had Ryan Terry lined up at some stage. I need to message him, get that finalised. I'm going to message Naz as well. Love to film with him. So I've got some cool things lined up, hopefully. Got the house content as well. And then, honestly, before we know it, I'll be starting prep. And obviously the prep series, going to take it up a level again this year. I will try to pump out a few more videos in prep. And obviously leading into peak weeks and stuff, I'll do the exact same as I did last year, where we've got daily videos leading in. With the amount of shows I'm doing, there's going to be a lot of content. So look forward to that. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Gymshark, Black Friday sale, whatever date I said at the start of this video. Code Eagles, love you, thanks.